The lifts performed in this program were completed by seasoned and trained strength athletes. Do not recreate these lifts at home. You ready to get in the sleeping bag?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
They're the Lift Busters, a group of strongmen and strength athletes dedicated to strength testing your favorite feats of strength from movies, TV, and more. And on today's episode, they're going to Camp Crystal Lake. The Busters have gathered at the station to review the lift, test the lift, and conclude if it's confirmed or busted. Today we are joined by Jimmy, Spencer, Mike, and Alex. Let's begin by reviewing this footage of the proposed lift.
Hey everyone, it's Alex. So, I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just use the footage from Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, like anyone else would? Well, we really don't want to deal with the rigmarole of, using a film's footage with this being our first YouTube video. So instead, we're going to give you this artistic retelling of events. So buckle up, we got to go through some criteria for what happens in the sleeping bag kill. One of those being, we know Jason lives on the lake. This might not be Camp Crystal Lake, but this is Thunder Bay. Works just as good. So first off, Jason isn't alive. He's dead. Well, undead, but we don't know what that adds or subtracts from strength. In the movie, Jason is back from the dead at Camp Crystal Lake and comes across two teenagers. They're having fun, being wild, and of course, camping at a cursed campground. So what does Jason do first? He gets rid of the boyfriend with an old 1-2 and immediately sets out for the entire point of this episode. Jason finds the girl in her sleeping bag and she decides to hide in her sleeping bag and fight back. Jason drags her from her campsite, comes to a complete stop after a brief drag, and with one powerful throw, strikes the woman in her bag across the tree, ending her time in the woods.
One shot.
The other thing I noticed when I was just looking at it too was that it's not like it's from momentum. It's not like he's running and then building it up with that swing.
Oh no, it's like it's just a straight across body.
It's just one fluid motion. Now, I have to say it. I have the sleeping bag here.
Yes, I see that.
As
It's
you
not
can
yellow.
see. No,
So that might increase threat.
It's going to. It's more 90s color.
Yeah.
But also there is the grip aspect of it. Jason is a mushy zombie in this movie, so no chalk. Really, if you think about it.
I mean, the parachute-y type material might make it a little bit slippery, but I think that it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Get a handle.
1980s women weighed.
I mean, just based on her video, she's blonde, she's skinny. She only fills the sleeping bag up just barely. So she's not really actually taller than the bag. And you can see her collarbones very well defined, from there up. So she does not have a very high body fat percentage. She can't weigh more than 100. I was going to say maximum 140, but...
Oh, way less.
Probably less than that. Okay, then yeah.
So then, for testing it, we obviously have a volunteer towards the last part of it. If you want to try it with anything like...
throw a sandbag in there or something?
Yes, throw a sandbag in there.
I was thinking.
Try that.
After a quick measurement, the Busters weigh out the green sandbag to 125 pounds, and thus they have their test subject for the first round.
I would worry about the dumbbells coming up. So no one's contemplated the fact that the weight could come out of the back of the...
I
gotta bust the seams.
Yeah, I meant that's why I said I don't know if you want to hit it against a tree with your car there.
Best bet?
Yeah.
While the Busters had taken into consideration all the components to recreate the lift to the best of their abilities, they weren't prepared for what happened next.
I was gonna say, do we want to drag it on the concrete?
Yeah.
The sandbag already wasn't cooperating.
I'm pretty sure it's going to tear off the bottom. This is before we have the full ass.
You okay?
Yeah, no, it's heavy. This is slipperier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
With a less than cooperative sandbag loaded, it's time to begin the first phase of testing.
He is putting actual effort.
I would say he's got it like back here though. I don't even think I can move it like that. Yeah.
Yes. And it for sure was sped up and not wire work at all.
Yeah. That's about all I got.
Yeah. Listen, I gave it a valiant effort.
Yeah, so that was not bad.
Got some effort at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it looks.
No. I know.
It really makes you feel small.
Yeah. I think if the weight was spread out though, it'd be
Yeah, if the weight was
different.
spread out, it's all cylindrical to the bottom.
Yeah.
The weight can come out of the back of the
And the zipper is gone.
Here too.
Yeah, but
I don't think that's possible.
not with the way we have it set up, because it's all the weight.
No, that's insane. Actually, truly insane.
Yeah, that's right. Like with all the way at the bottom, there's no way.
Well, do you think it's because of the distribution of weight, of where it's
I
just
think that's half of it.
It's definitely a factor.
80s sleeping bags
Because
were
go
of higher
get,
quality.
like
they
we could put
didn't
135 on a barbell. And
That's
swing
solid.
that.
They were made
True.
out of asbestos.
stretch. Yeah,
You know.
asbestos doesn't stretch.
Well, Mike, what do you think the other half is?
Instead of having 125 pounds like a cannonball at the end of a sock, you've got it's like holding a couple of 2x4s. You know what I mean? And you slap it against a tree.
I would say like if you've got a bar, you could use a bar with 135 on it. You could just,
Yeah, 135 pounds on a bar. You could take that.
With no buster completing the sandbag test, it's time to move on to the final stage, testing. A human volunteer.
You ready to get in the sleeping bag? Yeah. Good. All right, get in the sleeping bag.
Will the buster's hypothesis that the weight distribution is the issue be correct, or
That's correct.
will this lift be busted?
just keep the order.
Like he does in the film. It's over her head, and so he.
No way. There's no way. Before I even put, there's just no give.
I'm now convinced just
It does slide pretty easy though.
There's no room to move.
So I believe we can confirm that part of the theory that if she was in the sleeping bag, she wouldn't really be able to resist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's. I mean, yeah. You're fully bound up.
Yeah.
So her
Yeah.
wild kick is pretty central.
Yeah.
It's about
you
up and
tried
down.
those
It's very much
on
just
the neck?
undulating, and that's about it.
Yeah.
pull it over her head and actually twist it a little bit. Spencer, give yourself some handle.
You're next.
I am.
Just
Choke up on that. Push her all the way down as far as you can.
I should have got safety gears.
You should have probably.
I got the speed on that one. Yeah. Because it's
wanna
much
pull her hair.
slipperier because
What the heck
the
is
weight's
this?
dispersed more than the sandbag.
The sandbag's a lot better.
What?
Actually, let's scoot her
What
down
if
a
I
little
just
bit.
started screaming? Right
Then it's very accurate.
now?
Nope, that's not. You
Yeah.
can get a little bit of a jutz, but that's it.
Yeah. So I think you need to get her over this way more, you know what I mean?
Definitely gotta
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
That's what I mean. If you can get a solid plant and some momentum,
All the way up.
yeah, you could do a hammer turn.
Like
to
a
it.
friggin' Beyblade spin or something.
Yeah.
With the human test complete, it's now time for the busters to get together, discuss the results, and make a conclusion.
we did the lift.
We did the lift.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this was significantly more difficult than I thought it would be.
I agree with you. I thought that putting the person in was actually going to make it easier, and it really didn't. Like, other than when I went under the arms to swing her, like, it was the only way that you could get him off the ground to actually swing him into the tree with enough force to do damage. The problem with that was then you'd only about break their legs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really show it well in the clip of the movie. However, he has to do, like, he's got to do damage to her trunk and core enough to kill her. She's got blood, like, up on her torso. But when he swings and hits her on the tree, it looks like she kind of only strikes maybe the pelvis or thigh area.
It broke her pelvis.
Yeah, and which would kill you maybe eventually without medical attention. With enough trauma, like,
I think it would have been a bigger, slightly different story if we were allowed momentum. Like, starting it from just...
That's, the ones that, like, because, like, I felt a little lift where I'm like, ooh, okay, like, if I had, like, a full turn,
Well, you look at, like, an Olympic shot put or whatever, where they spin around in there before they
like
launch.
discus or weight throw or
Anything
hammer.
like that,
Yeah, that's where I'm like, if it had, like, one pivot turn, I was like, we got 8 feet off the ground.
Well, and notwithstanding enough force to actually kill a person.
Yeah. I think you could definitely do some serious damage, especially, like I said, if you had, like, one turn of momentum in, you could, like, have nothing.
So it's safe to say this one's busted.
Busted?
How much strength would he have to have as a character, a person, and actually...
Oh, it's hard to gauge, but probably like double what we're looking at for strength, because we got, like Spencer said, you got a little bit of lift, you got some air, but like she's like waist height. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she goes from like ground to just like swing straight out.
Yeah.
Within like 90 degrees of
Yeah.
And then the rest of the 90 is just a tree.
Right.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of like what our volunteer had to say too, is once you get spinning in that, it sucks you down to the end of the bank. Basically, the momentum of turning around that, that
which is going to slow down the rotation.
Spence, for you as a coach, what then would you recommend training to possibly be able to? What muscles are going to be like?
All of the rotation muscles.
Yeah.
All the core and hip muscles. That's literally it. And grip, just to hold on to the sleeping bag.
I would say a lot of sandbags. Probably sandbag pop-ups and...
I mean, yeah. Just like...
Just for that part of it. And then
cable rotations and anything where you're moving through like multiple planes of motion.
How about some uneven loaded deadlifts?
Maybe. But again, that's still going to be pretty like static up and down. That's
true.
just gonna train stiffness. You don't really want stiffness because you have to like rotate through it. So like it's gonna have to be like moving. There's not gonna be like almost nothing is stable.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't really remember from the video if his feet move at all, but they're still very much an athletic sense.
They just return.
Yeah,
when he did it.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to this first episode of Lift Busters. Comment down below what next piece of media we should put to the test of our strength.